Over the years, we've seen some amazing LEGO themes, both licensed and original, and I'm lucky enough to have seen some of my favorite franchises of all time get their very own line of LEGO sets to collect. But for as many themes as LEGO has made, there's also plenty that they haven't. Today, I wanted to go over my personal list of the top 5 themes that I would love to see LEGO make, as I think these would be such cool sets to get. Some of them seem more possible than others for sure, but ultimately, this is just for fun. Basically, going over some of my dream themes that I would absolutely buy were LEGO to ever make them. And again, this is just for fun. I would be very surprised if LEGO actually made some of these, so don't take this as a prediction list at all. So, starting off with number 5, we have probably an unexpected one for some, but we have Regular Show. Regular Show has been one of my all time favorite cartoons. I was there when the first episode released, and I've loved it ever since. It's a hilarious show for all ages, and I'd highly recommend you watch it if you haven't yet. But as for why I'd love to see it as a LEGO theme, well, I think there's just so many iconic moments and places from the show that would translate into LEGO sets so well. Especially the Park House, which I could easily see being the flagship set of the series. You could also have something like the cart as one of the cheaper sets, which would still be just as iconic. Now, in terms of whether or not we would actually see Regular Show made into a theme, I honestly think it's one of the more likely ones on this list, considering that Regular Show LEGO has appeared in Fortnite and the Park House has also been submitted as a LEGO idea set. But whether or not Regular Show becomes an actual LEGO theme or not, it's still just a cool concept to me nonetheless. Coming in at number 4 on the list, we have Cyberpunk 2077. Now, ever since the game released, flaws and all, I was instantly captivated by the game's story and setting. The game immersed me completely and introduced me to all these new vehicles, weapons, characters, and places which are all so memorable to me. And I really do believe that these would make for some iconic LEGO sets. I could picture a Speed Champion style line with different vehicles from the game like the Quadra Turbo R, and maybe some of the larger sets we would see would be something like Arasaka Tower or V's Mega Building, complete with tons of intricate details and maybe some hidden Easter eggs and references, which there would be plenty to do. And truth be told, I would be willing to spend more money than I really should on sets like these and regret absolutely nothing. I would also really hope to see some sets based on the game's DLC, Phantom Liberty, as of course the Cerberus or the Chimera would make for some really cool builds. The world is also just so full of interesting and unique characters that would make for some awesome minifigures, maybe even getting some minifigures from Edge Runners. All in all, it's just a theme that I would really want to see. Now, for the likelihood of a Cyberpunk theme ever actually happening, I'd sadly have to say it's just highly unlikely. Cyberpunk is a very mature game, and while LEGO has made sets based on content with more adult themes in the past, I think Cyberpunk might just be a little bit too much. But of course, it's fun to imagine what a Cyberpunk theme would look like. At number 3, we have yet another theme idea that would be absolutely legendary to me, this being a LEGO Warhammer 40k theme. Warhammer 40k is a massive universe which would provide for an endless amount of set ideas. I mean, honestly, I could just go on and on for hours coming up with things that they could do with a theme like this. So many characters, factions, vehicles, places. I mean, just imagine a Hive City in the style of like the 2018 Cloud City, or a Tyranid Hierophant set. I mean, they could even make all kinds of battle packs for different factions and Space Marine chapters. So many possibilities with a theme like this. Again, it's such an expansive universe, so the potential is pretty much endless. But unfortunately, this is another theme that I think will always just remain a dream, and nothing more. Games Workshop is pretty stingy with the Warhammer license, and I just don't see them partnering with LEGO anytime soon. It's also just due to the violent nature of Warhammer, hence the name. Because of that, it's something I just don't see LEGO ever wanting to do. Making it onto the number 2 spot of my top 5 dream LEGO themes, we have Helldivers. Definitely not as expansive as the Warhammer universe, but still one that has so much going for it in terms of set ideas. There is a mountain of potential here with all 4 factions in the game having their own unique designs and visual aesthetics. Of course, the first set idea that comes to my mind would be a Super Destroyer. I would love for this to be a set that incorporates the iconic interior anyone who's played the second game is familiar with, and maybe if they could, include a feature that allows hell pods to actually drop from the ship. And the enemies, of course, also have an entire arsenal of soldiers and vehicles that would make for some fantastic sets. A Factory Strider or Bile Titan would be awesome as larger sets, and maybe something like the FRV or a Charger for a smaller set. And with all the different armor that the game has to offer, there would no doubt be some really cool minifigures. And I think the Terminants would make for some great brick-built figures. There is so much we could get from a theme like this. Now, would this be a theme that we possibly see in the future? Again, I'm gonna have to say probably not, just because of the violence shown within the game, but I would really like to be wrong on this one for sure, as I really do believe that it would be a highly sought after theme, and I know I certainly would be buying the entire line of sets if they ever made them. And finally, we reach number 1, which would possibly be one of my favorite LEGO themes of all time, were it ever to be made. That, of course, being Elden Ring. I'm going to say it right off the bat. I think this theme could absolutely be made. Elden Ring has its dark elements for sure, but not to the extent of some of the other themes on this list. LEGO Fantasy and Castle sets have long been some of my favorites of all time, so I know for sure that LEGO would do an excellent job translating the Lands Between into LEGO form. There are just so many locations in the Lands Between that are absolutely iconic and so memorable to not only me, but many others. And the same is true for the DLC to Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree. Seeing LEGO sets of them being made would be a dream come true. If I could choose any theme on this list to actually be made, it would no doubt be Elden Ring. I know for a fact that I would certainly want to see the capital city of Lindell made into a set probably similar to the new Lord of the Rings Minas Tirith. And of course, how cool would it be to get a set that's based on Stormveil Castle, or even Raya Lucaria? And the crowning jewel of the collection, of course, would probably be a UCS style set of the Erdtree itself. And not only are the locations memorable from Elden Ring, but the bosses too. I could see many of the bosses being made into larger brick-built figures, like Godric for example, and I think they would make for some really awesome sets to get. And you know, if they ever were to do an Elden Ring line, then I would absolutely want to see Dark Souls made as well. This is just another theme where I could honestly go on forever about coming up with set ideas for. Elden Ring is one of my favorite games and worlds of all time, and I really hope that this becomes a LEGO theme one day. I mean, who knows? LEGO has lacked a really good fantasy or castle theme for a while now, and I think an Elden Ring / Souls theme would be the perfect choice to fill this gap. But like I said previously, if I could pick any of these themes on the list to be made, this would be the one. There's just so much emblematic about Elden Ring, from the dragons to the castles, all of which I just think would be so cool to get as LEGO. And like I said, who knows? I've seen LEGO surprise me before, so maybe they just might do it again with this. But anyways, that has been my top 5 dream LEGO themes. Appreciate it if you drop a like and maybe subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. I'd love to see you back here again. And please do let me know what you thought in the comments. Are these also themes that you would like to see? Of course, if not, I'd also love to hear about theme ideas that you've had for who knows how long. Because as always, I'd love to hear what you guys have to say too. I'm sure there's a lot of cool theme ideas that you might have that I would be all in on. Maybe it's licensed, maybe it's completely original. Whatever it is, let me know. Until next time, this has been Nightlighter. Take care.